Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show is a former longtime executive in Major League Baseball of the Marlins organization, now in the media. He is David Samson here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I don't follow baseball anymore. Did you? After Tuesday, I stopped following the sport. So
I don't blame you. Why would you? Because why would you put any hopes on the Yankees when you knew exactly what was going to happen?
Well, I had a sense that the Yankees would not make it to the World Series. I did not think Gerrit Cole would last 6 outs. That I didn't see coming. I'll be very honest with you, David. Why did you think that this was a result that was foretold?
Because the Yankees have a great lineup on paper, but they can't score runs. Gerrit Cole has a great contract on paper. He makes a ton of money, but at the end of the day, without foreign substances, he's far less effective. He's not really an ace. And so you're going up against a team, the Red Sox, that are just better in almost every way, just with players who many people have never heard of. It's sort of like the Rays. No one's heard of those players, but they're the best team in the American League.
So are you saying Gerrit Cole is not going to be the same pitcher because the sticky stuff is no longer allowed? Is that truly what you are saying, David Samson?
I am saying that the New York Yankees are working very closely with the commissioner's office, and they are trying to develop a foreign substance that is agreed to by the union as part of the new collective bargaining agreement. And they are testing that substance by calling up Gerrit Cole and saying, hey, do you like this one? Do you like that one? Because we got to do something.
So that's what you're saying. What are you hearing about the baseballs that were used in the Olympics that come out of the box tacky enough that for pitchers to feel like the grip is similar to what was not illegal? What do you think?
I think it's critical. So when I'm running a team and I speak to my players, they don't want to get hit in the head with the baseball. They want the pitchers to have a grip. And if you look at the weather that happened with the Red Sox-Yankees game, Cole wasn't sweating. And when you combine sweat and rosin, which you can use your rosin bag, you're going to get a better grip. But Cole wasn't able to do that because it wasn't very hot. And look what Scherzer did last night as an example. He was schwitzing from like the warm-up. And so when Cole's not doing that, you know he's going to have a problem. And any type of ball that they're going to come up with is going to be to the advantage of not just the pitchers, but also the hitters, because hitters want to be able to get in the box and dig in and not worry about getting beamed by someone with no command throwing 98.
So short of bringing his personal steam room to Fenway Park or any place where he goes, this is the new normal for Gerrit Cole and the Yankees ace they're on the hook for $300 million Steinbrenner dollars, is what you're saying, David Samson.
I was looking. Thank you for continuing to repeat my name. Yes. I like that.
You're welcome,
do
sir.
The Twitter handle. You can talk about the show, nothing personal. But
Yes.
I think what we're trying to talk about is when you sign a pitcher to a long-term deal the way the Yankees did, you have to expect better, but you also know what you're getting. And what you're getting is the possibility of greatness, but the probability of mediocrity. And that is not common to just the Yankees. It's common to all of these free agent signings where they just don't work. Max Scherzer is the exception, not the rule, where his 7-year deal has been great. But the next team that signs Scherzer, if the Dodgers re-sign him and go against the way Andrew Friedman is, they're not going to get the old Max Scherzer. They're just going to get an old Max Scherzer.
So what if the Steinbrenners called you up, like right now, let's just say that happened, just wave a wand. What would you counsel them to do with this Yankee team, roster, et cetera, manager? What would you counsel them to do?
They're going to have to get another manager, and they're going to have to get another general manager. It's time to make a change. They've had a good run. Brian Cashman's been amazing. He's got World Series, but he keeps trying to build the team the same way. And they build a team to get to October. They do not build a team to get through October. And you want to take one-year flyers on Corey Kluber and Talon and all these guys, I'm happy for you to do that. But that's sort of what we did with the Marlins. When you're the Yankees, you want to be better than that. You don't want to have to rely on what could be, but what likely won't be. You don't want to try to catch lightning in a bottle. You're the Yankees. Come on. You've got to do better. You need more pitching. And if Cashman doesn't want to go that direction and Steinbrenner doesn't want to go over the luxury tax threshold, then you guys are never going to get another World Series.
Former Miami Marlins president, host of the Nothing Personal podcast, at David P. Samson on Twitter and Instagram. David Samson here on the Rich Eisen Show. How was that? Was that reset to your liking, David?
you have a good producer. That was really an outstanding reset.
You know,
Thank
David,
you so much for that.
no offense, nothing personal, but I did that myself. So
Is that so you can save money by not paying your people around you a lot, so you do all of your reads and you prepare all of it? I like that. That's good planning.
you know what? There's an I in Rich and Eisen. I do have a terrific team around me, and I will always give them credit because that's the type of professional I am. But I understand that you want to give me the credit, and I'll take it. I'll take it and run with it. So you mentioned the Yankees were a team that was built to get to October, not through October. Which team is built to get through October that is still playing in this month?
The Tampa Bay Rays. They're a team that you may not be able to name 10 people on their roster. They're starting 3 rookies in a row against the Red Sox, and it's possible they're going to sweep the Red Sox. I think they probably will sweep the Red Sox. You can get 460. It's plus 460 for them to sweep, and that makes me smile because they're a team that no one wants to think is good, but they have the smartest front office in baseball, and they have no emotion. And that is what you need to be successful in sports. You can't listen to the media. You can't listen to fans. You have to have zero allegiance to anything other than winning. And to do that, you have to trade players a year too early, not a year too late. And Tampa does that perfectly every single time.
I can't stand the way they play, David. I'll be honest with you. I can't stand the 4 outfielders and the shifting and the guy sitting in right field who's usually right around second base. I can't stand the openers. I can't stand it. It's just not the way I want to watch baseball. I'll be honest. I'm a traditionalist. I might be a dinosaur at age 52. I might be a naysayer, but it just drives me nuts. It's not something I really want to see.
So the question is, what's your goal, right? So if you're running a team, is your goal to satisfy an aging demographic who is just going to die out at some point soon? And by the way, I'm right there with you at 53 years old.
Okay.
Or is your goal to get rings and somehow get interest in younger people who want more action? Like last night's game, 4 hours and 15 minutes. Great game. I watched every minute of it because that's what I do. But it's really hard to get people to do that. So what do? You have to do anything to make the game more efficient and have more action. So therefore, do we get rid of the shift? Do we do everything that you're saying? Make it so you can't do an opener. Make it so you have to keep a pitcher in for 3 batters, by the way, which they do, and it doesn't impact the pace of play at all. Games were the longest they've ever been this year. So what changes can we make? And the answer is, I would say anything, including changing the batting order, letting people hit whenever they want to in the 9th inning. If you're down a run, let Aaron Judge hit 3 straight times or Stanton. Anything, because you, the traditionalist, Rich, you're a dying breed.
You know what, David? I don't appreciate that, but I appreciate it at the same time. I'm conflicted. I'm not going to lie. So when you say that, though, I mean, there has to still be some semblance of an order for all of this to work in my mind. Maybe, again, I'm wrong. But how would you combat it? Like, because the Rays seem to have taken an approach here where they see where the rules are and they're just screwing with it. Basically, the way that I'm seeing, they have taken a totally different approach with a slide rule and a protractor, and allow the manager to figure out, a little bit of the gut and feel, I guess. Did they allow Kevin Cash to figure out the gut and feel at all, or no?
No, there's no gut, there's no feel. Were you the guy back in high school that you'd be all angry when someone would get a 95 on an exam and not study, where you had to study really hard to get the 95, and that would make you jealous even though they were more efficient?
Yes, I was that guy, David. I was that guy.
Okay,
yeah.
So I hear you, and I appreciate that. And I used to be that guy, and then I went to therapy, which I still do, and I'm working toward not being that guy anymore. Because if I can get the 95 and not do any work or outwork or be smarter than everyone around me and get the desired result I want, which is wins, rings, and money, not necessarily in that order, it means I'm doing something right and you're doing something wrong. So,
David Samson, Nothing Personal Podcast, CBS Sports here on the Rich Eisen Show. That's called a reset for radio purposes, David. So what would you do to build a team to beat the Rays? Which team is the best equipped to beat the Rays then this year out of all of them?
I think not until the World Series. I think the Brewers, with their rotation, again, with players you may not know, but the Brewers have quite a bullpen, except for Devin Williams. can you imagine when I was president of the team, I had some players who got injured with self-inflicted injuries when they lost their tempers, or we would always announce it differently to the media. We'd say, oh, they tripped on the stairs, or oh, they were playing with their kid.
Yeah.
Or we'd make up anything because we wouldn't want to acknowledge the fact that they punched a wall or did something so stupid. So without Devin Williams, the Brewers may have a small problem because he was their setup guy, but they've got a great back end of the bullpen, a great rotation, and a lineup that's good enough, and that could be good enough to beat the Rays. But I think that's probably going to be your World Series is Rays-Brewers, which is a real snooze fest for people who don't like baseball.
So why won't the Dodgers make it back? Did the Giants knock them out? I mean, the Dodgers were the team that actually went through that analytics, heartless, no gut, no feel wall last year when Snell came out and jumped all over, the result. I mean, they're the ones who have got through it last year. Why not this year?
Well, the Dodgers are financial bullies, and I'm jealous of them because they've got money. They have money to cover up mistakes that they make in signings and in trades. Because if someone stinks, you just release them or get rid of them. And then the Dodgers actually can make trades. We would trade with the Dodgers. We'd give them our overpaid players. They'd be happy to take them, and we'd be happy to lower our payroll, but they'd want something in return like prospects or international bonus money or something to give them an advantage. So they really are bullies. And the reason why they're not going to get past the Giants is that the Giants are just a better team, and they're having career years from more players than the Dodgers have. I've never seen anything like what the Giants did this year. When you've got 6 or 7 guys having career years at the same time, it's like my dream. And in 18 years, it only happened for me once.
So I guess one last one for you here, since you believe it'll be Rays versus Brewers in the World Series. Let's look over the steering wheel here with the Los Angeles Angels, sir, with 2 of the most generationally talented players to be on the roster at the same time. Obviously, there's injuries and whatnot. Ohtani and Trout, what in the world do? They got Rendon as well. I mean, Ohtani's already made, a couple of ripples saying he wants to win. I'm sitting here wondering if Trout would want off this ship if given a chance. What happens, do you think, David, with all that?
So I believe Ohtani has already agreed to an extension with the Angels. I think when he signed with the Angels that he had been told that he'd get to go 2 ways and that he would get a long-term deal, even though the commissioner's office made it very clear in memos to all of us that we could not offer Ohtani anything other than the allowable money under the international signing bonus pool. So Ohtani can say he wants to win. All players say that. Giancarlo Stanton said to me, David, I just want to win. I said, how's 325 over 13? He said, winning? I'll take the 325. So here's why Trout is an angel, because he's in L.A., not bad, good weather, 72 and sunny. Mm-hmm. And, oh, my God, he's getting paid $400 million. So Ohtani can say he wants to win all he wants, but he will be an angel. The problem with the Angels, again, they don't have enough pitching. When Andrew Heaney is your opening day pitcher or counted on to be at the top of your rotation, you got a problem. And so the Angels have to be in the free agent market, and they have to get established pitching because they are wasting Trout's years, and it is so sad for Major League Baseball that he has never won a playoff game in his entire career. Terrible.
Well, David, just to wrap this up, David Samson, I don't believe you've been on this show before. You and I haven't spoken very much before, and I have heard your material. So I asked this question not lightly at all. Are you out of Fs to give, David Samson? Are you completely fresh out of Fs to give, David?
Oh, I've got a plethora of Fs. I will never stop giving an F about all this stuff. But what you're saying is, do I want to work in baseball again? And the problem is, I did it for 18 years. I won a World Series, built a ballpark, traded players, signed players, sold a team to Jeter. I love what I'm doing now in the media. I love my show, Nothing Personal. I love working with Jerry. I love the whole package. So I have no interest in going back. And the problem with all the talking heads on TV is they really don't know what they're talking about because they've never done it. So I've done it, and I'm willing to talk about it.
David Samson, look for my call one more. Oh, Brockman, the mass hole here is really enjoying this immensely. David, thanks for the call. Look for my call again, sir. We'll chat throughout the playoffs if you're available and up for it. Thanks for the call.
I'm holding my breath. See ya.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, David Samson. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.